Okay, I think we're recording. Alright, so we took it outside, we washed it off, and now we are going to go ahead and start. I know the beginning of the instructions say to have the students examine all the different fins. So if I go through my list here, it says to point out the cranium, the trunk, and the caudal fin, to have them run their hands over the skin. I don't really notice anything like all that interesting about the skin. It doesn't feel as rough as some things I guess if you rub against the grain, you can kind of feel a rough sandpaper texture a little bit. It's not as distinct as I thought it would be. They told us to look at the snout so you can see the nostrils there. It says to look at the teeth. The mouth is really hard. I don't really see a very easy way of getting to the teeth. I can see them. They're sharp. I can feel them, but you can't really open the mouth or anything. And then, of course, you can look at the fins. So the caudal fin, we've got the two pectoral fins. I picked this one to dissect because it came broken. And then down here, all I really see are pelvic fins. I can't really make out a separate anal fin. And then it looks like we've got two dorsal fins on this side. One here, and then the secondary dorsal fin there. And then above its head are the spiracles here, and the eyes, obviously. And some instructions I've read has suggested that you cut off the dorsal fin so it can lie on its back easily. But I don't really think that that's necessary. They seem pretty small and pretty flattened already. So I think that basically I would just take 10 minutes or so to have my students look at each body part one at a time. It does say to have them look at the tongue. I don't know how you're going to get in the mouth and look at the tongue. It does have gills. I think there should be 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. So we can have them examine all that for like 10 minutes. And then we would actually start with the dissection part with the shark laying like that. And I've seen 2 different ways to do it. I've seen an I shape where you do a small line on the top and bottom and then a connecting line. And I've also seen people cut it almost more like a door, like a C. These directions I have say an I, so I'm going to go ahead and try that. I have no idea how deep to cut or what it's going to be like. Does it say? It does say wipe out and dispose of extra liquid, so Charlie, do you want to maybe get a little plastic bag and some paper towels, because I don't know how much extra liquid we're talking. Alright. I feel like the other instructions I had were more specific about where to cut the eye. It just says an eye, so I don't know. I guess I'm just gonna make my best guess, because I don't know exactly where the eye cut should be. Okay, where do you think? Up here by the gills? Or below the gills? I think I'm gonna go fin to fin. I don't know. I'm not really sure. Wish I had Googled that. Maybe I'll go...
Well, on here it looks like it's...
Fin to fin?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, it feels very hard right here. I don't really know if I'm cutting too deep or not deep enough. My blade almost seems a little dull. You see what I'm saying there, Charlie? I wonder if I should get a new one. Open this other kit. Do you want to get this set up? This is a brand new blade. Do you want to see what that blade looks like if it'll fit in either one of these? This one looks sharper. Let me try this one. Oh yeah, this one's better, I think. We'll be okay. And then, I don't really know if I should go, I thought I was supposed to go down by the anal fin, but I'm just gonna go to here for now, I don't know.
It looks
all the way down to the pelvic fins,
yeah.
right? Like down here. Oh, I think I cut too deep on that little part right there. I don't know. Because I'm starting to see fluid come out. And then I'm going to go ahead and try to do an eye shape. Yeah, I've cut a little too deep, but I don't think I've damaged anything. There's the skin now that I can see coming apart, and try to cut about that deep. Because I can see I've cut the liver a little bit. Okay, so now I should, okay, so maybe I didn't, oh, at the top I didn't cut deep enough. It looks like the skin is thicker up here. Yeah, that's interesting. The top is very thick up by the pectoral fins. There's a little membrane there. Okay. So this is what I don't know, if I want to use pins at all, or if it's not necessary. I'm going to try. I don't know if that would just up the likelihood of kids poking themselves, you know? And I'm going to try to pin it back a little bit. Charlie, can you tell me what it looks like on the camera? Is the skin totally blocking though?
Yeah.
Okay. That's really thick up there. Okay, well maybe I'll go. What do you think? Should I try to cut more by that pin?
I would try pinning in a different direction.
Okay, try that. See what you think. It's just really hard to cut right there, and we want to examine the gills later, so I don't want to damage the gills too much. But I kind of think I won't use the pins with the students. Just because I think it ups the... See, it doesn't really hold... Yeah, it doesn't hold much. Alright, well, let's go from there. The first thing we're going to want to see is the liver. The liver is huge, right? So the students have been doing that one center. So here's... You're fine, Chuck.
I'm just trying to get a better view for the camera.
If you want, you can grab something we can prop up the side of the thing. Like a book or something.
I don't want to touch this.
Look at that rag. Grab that rag. And we'll just lay it under there. Quick,
I
Allie.
think they'll be fine.
I do. Just give it a little bit better angle. Okay, so we've got one lobe of the liver here, and then we've got the other lobe of the liver, so you can see both of those. Then underneath is everything else, and that's what I'm curious about how I'm going to... Oh, this says 3 lobes. The green at the end of the center lobe is the gallbladder. So that must be the gallbladder, do you think, Char? That looks to be the center, and a little greenish, right? I'd say that might be the gallbladder.
That thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so greenish center lobe is the gallbladder, this says. And then you have the esophagus. It says it's a thick muscular tube extending from the top cavity to the midline. This connects the mouth to the stomach. We didn't cut up that high, so I'm wondering if I should go ahead and do another incision up here.
Yeah, very good.
hard. I don't know. It almost is like bone up here. I don't know if I mean, obviously it doesn't have bone, but it's thicker cartilage. I guess I don't know that I can cut that. And definitely I don't think that a student would be able to cut through that. It's something really hard. Yeah, there's a really hard piece right here. So maybe we'll have to cut around it later when we get to that part. I'm not sure that I can identify the esophagus. We've got, like, I don't know if that's the stomach or the esophagus. Or then there's this back here. You think that?
I think it's this tube.
Okay, now we can see it as we lift away all the lobes of the liver. There does seem to be something that's a little bit more tube-like in the center.
Seems to be like right up against the spine.
Right up against the spine in the center, there is something very hard. It's a lot harder than the other things. That might be the esophagus. Maybe I'll have to watch some more YouTube videos. And then it connects down to a very thin kind of membrane. And I'm thinking this is the stomach, although it doesn't look full at all. I mean, it looks very flattened. Let's see, esophagus to the stomach. It says the stomach should be J-shaped. That makes sense because this thing here definitely does seem to make a J shape. So I think we have found the esophagus there, the hard thing in the dead center way underneath the livers. And so we have the J-shaped stomach. A lot of things I've read have said that people will open the stomach. It says they cut the stomach open along the long side, so I guess that's this side, where the main part of the J comes down from the esophagus, just to see the contents. They said you might see fish, squid, things like that. To me, this seems pretty empty. But do you want to try it? While I hold the lobes, I'm going to cut open the stomach and see if we see anything in there interesting. Okay, so this is a lot like what I saw in the video before. It's very like kind of wrinkly and bumpy inside the stomach, but similar to the video I saw, there's not really any evidence of food or anything. It really is just the inside of the stomach. So it's interesting to see the texture, but I don't really see any food at all there. So then I wonder what this is that's connected to, let's see. It says, wash off the stomach, notice the inner lining, folds help to mix and churn the food with digestive juices. And then they said if you locate the end of the stomach, that you'll see the rectal gland. That's what I'm guessing maybe that this is. There's like almost like triangular dark black piece that I'm trying to figure out if that could be, oh no, that's the spleen. Okay. So I'm not sure which one is the rectal gland, but it does say dark triangular shaped is the spleen. So we'll have the spleen there. That's pretty easy to find. And then it says the kidney is blood, or obviously the kidney filters blood through which waste is remained. I can't tell based on the descriptions I'm seeing here what is the kidney. There's two different things here. We've got,
I would say this.
Which one? We've got a couple different things. One, you just have to keep in mind, this is a pregnant shark. So at some point, we're going to be finding a uterus with...
Oh, okay, that's probably...
So that's what I'm thinking is this could be the uterus, but so could this. This is pretty soft and this one's more hard, so I'm not sure yet. Basically, we, at some point, have a kidney and a pancreas, but it doesn't really give you descriptions in her notes here of those. I guess I should have brought home the other stuff that she had.
Well, is it supposed to have two kidneys? Because it looks like it's got two of these.